We're finally getting some rain here. It's not a whole lot, but it's something. And so I'm in our greenhouse that's attached to our home and working today while rain is coming in on a little bit of an added detail, a bonus detail on our rain collection that happens off of the roof line of this structure. Since it's full, it's overflowing. How can I take that overflow and meaningfully send it passively through this space without having to do a lot of work? So that's what I'm working on today. The rainwater collection on this structure is pretty simple overall. It's a 55-gallon drum. And like I've mentioned before, if you're going to set up a rainwater collection system off of any roof structure, it really benefits the health of the structure and also your landscape to have a thoughtful destination for the overflow. And so in the case of this container, it's just a simple 1-inch diameter piece of scrap black hosing that for the longest time just shot out to the outside away from the structure. But now that we've been in this dry period and we want to actually actively hydrate while it's raining, what I've done is I drilled a little hole through the base floor or the bottom wooden bar where the door meets up, and I actually routed that overflow back into this structure. I buried it and I have it ending up right here. And you can see while it's raining and overflowing, all of that excess water, quote unquote, is now coming gently into the structure. And so what I can do is, as I dig out this channel to encourage that water to run right along the base of this monolithic bed. This has around 4,000 or 5,000 pounds of soil in it that these cucumbers and our brassicas and our winter crops will all enjoy. This excess water can now passively and effectively wick into that bed and also wick into this walkway, which I'll explain in a moment. So as I dig this out and I see that the water is moving in the direction I want, I can then go ahead and hide it with these pieces of scrap tile that I found a ways back. That keeps the channel open, and then I can simply bury it with wood chips again. So I'll just go down the line and continue on with that. And it'll look like I didn't do anything, but every time it rains, all of that excess water will be passively sent right into this huge block of soil. In this case, I'm just on my hands and knees with a tiny little shovel, a little hoary. It's funny to juxtapose this to the huge hand-dug pond system, but this is the same idea, is basically trying to get water to move where we want it, to hold where we want it. And I'm just kind of swirling around underneath. This other tube that's here is the tube that actually connects to the rainwater tank, and we've got a valve on the far side. So this is basically the overflow, and you can see as I dig it and move the soil aside, I can encourage the flow to go down the line here. So instead of measuring or using a level, I'm just using the actual water line and chasing it out with this little trenching work. We'll give it a minute to catch up. There we go. It's going in the right direction. The thing I want to convey most is that the best time to make adjustments to water holding systems, either in soil in the landscape or overflow states for rainwater collection and the like, is when it's actively raining, when there's actually active water moving in the landscape. That is your hyper-precise, immediately accurate water level in action, and it's a great thing to work with. So I'm going to get back to it on this rainy day and see if we can't passively hydrate this whole container with a little bit of digging. A minor note, but an important one that I've learned a long time ago. When I set up this overflow, it's just a straight run of pipe from there directly to here, and the flow feels really constricted, and I think it's about the lack of air being able to escape from the pipe. So what I think I need is this little piece to go in, and this side to be where the overflow is, so that air can enter or escape and equalize. I call it the burping tube. Let me install that and see if it helps. All right, let's see what that does. Now that's the full rate of flow. Cool reminder, if you have an overflow, you really want some way for air to escape, either a hole in the tube or better yet, a little T that can let air in and out. Pretty minor amount of work, 15 minutes or so for a pretty massive upgrade. Doesn't look beautiful, but that water will all be going into the bed. Could represent many thousands and thousands of gallons of water that we don't have to lift, that can feed the bottom of the roots of these plants passively from now on. It's a secret observation portal. Some call it a chunk of wood, but they're wrong.